मेरा नाम निपेंद्र कुमार दास, कटक डिस्ट्रिक्ट का कोच हूँ। हम लोग जैसे क्वार्टर फाइनल आने के लिए हम लोग 3 मैच हम लोग क्वालिफाई किया। क्वालिफाई करने के बाद हम लोग क्वार्टर फाइनल अभी आया। आज पहला मैच है टाटा स्टील का, ये स्टील प्लांट का साथ राउरकेला का। और हम लोग ये जो क्वार्टर फाइनल 3 मैच है हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे कैसे जीतने के लिए। आखिर नहीं जीतेंगे तो हम लोग लॉस नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। इसमें क्वालिफाई करने का बहुत चांसेस है। कटक टीम बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा टीम अच्छा है, बच्चे लोग बहुत हम लोग प्रिपरेशन करके आए हैं। अभी फिलहाल ये अच्छा ग्राउंड मिला है हम लोग को अच्छा रिजल्ट करने के लिए, और बच्चे लोग बहुत अच्छा खेलेगा बोल के मेरा होप है। और हम होप करता है कि ये मैच कैसे भी करके हमको निकलना पड़ेगा। आज का मैच प्लान हम लोग जैसे शुरुआत किया है वैसे ही करेंगे, लेकिन हम लोग का एम रहेगा कैसे ओपोनेंट को हराने के लिए।
मेरा नाम शेख शाहबाज आलम है। बहुत अच्छा रहा, कोच सर जैसे हमें बोले खेलने के लिए हम वैसे खेले, वैसे रिजल्ट भी किए। आज का गेम प्लान है कि बस अच्छा खेलना है और टीम विन करके लेके जाना है।
केशव चंद्र प्रधान, कोच राउरकेला स्टील प्लांट फुटबॉल टीम। लीग में जैसे प्लान किए थे उसी हिसाब से तीनों मैच जीत के हम क्वार्टर फाइनल लीग में आए हैं। अच्छा खेलेंगे। हम लोग तो कटक का गेम बिल्कुल देखे नहीं है, फिर भी हमारा टीम बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत कंबाइंड टीम है, एकदम बहुत बढ़िया अच्छा फुटबॉल खेलेगा। ऑल आउट फुटबॉल, गो फॉर विन, जीतने के लिए खेलेंगे।
एडविन तिर्की, ये मेरे लिए गर्व का बात है कि मुझे राउरकेला स्टील प्लांट कैप्टनशिप करने के लिए दिया है। थोड़ा मेहनत हुआ, थोड़ा जैसे तैसे करके भी कॉम्बाइन हुआ लड़का लोग से धीरे धीरे। पहला मैच में कॉम्बाइन नहीं हुआ था, फिर सेकेंड मैच से थर्ड मैच से अच्छा कॉम्बाइन हुआ और रिजल्ट अच्छा आया है। और क्वार्टर फाइनल लीग में थोड़ा अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस होगा जो कि उम्मीद है। आज का गेम प्लान जैसे भी हम लोग को जीतना ही है, और सब नया लड़का है, 1-2 जन बस पुराना लड़का लेके खेल रहे हैं, और कोशिश है कि जैसे भी हम लोग को 3 पॉइंट चाहिए।
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the final quarter-final, or rather the last quarter-final of the Sahani Cup 2023, the 62nd Senior Men Inter-District Football Championship. And we have two teams who are all set to take on each other, Cuttack versus Rourkela Steel Plant. And as we know that this is a very important fixture, we will try and show you a bit of a bit of a few facts that are required. That's a team comparison for you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get back to that once the teams are out there in the center. So as you all know that this is a very important fixture. Whoever wins goes forward We have already seen other games happening out in other quarterfinals, particularly yesterday's quarterfinal that was between Bargar and Jharsuguda. It was such a crackling encounter between two teams. And these are two absolute juggernauts in the context of the tournament. Cuttack and Rourkela steel plant. We all know how important they are in the history of Odisha and how important this tournament is in the history of Odisha as well. This is the 62nd Men's Inter-District Football Championship, Sahani Cup 2023. There have been some incredibly wonderful matches, absolutely electric displays by teams out there in the center. And at the same time, a few encounters probably have not lived up to the hyped up expectations, but then again, that doesn't really define the beauty, the thrill, the drama, and the high octane gentry of the tournament, of the footballers who are plying their trade. Odisha has been doing a phenomenal job in terms of propelling India's sports right to the pinnacle of everything. We have seen how they have done well in recent times, and after their extensive reach in hockey, now even football is taking the forefront. We're all aware of Odisha FC, the ISL team, who has been trying really hard. Was pretty phenomenal, to be honest, in terms of their first ISL campaign once they were re-christened as Odisha FC. Since then, they've had a bit of a roller coaster ride, but then again, they have been encouraging youth of India to take up the sport, embrace the game in all possible ways. So no wonder that Odisha has been doing an absolutely terrific job of nurturing the sport for the nation. It's a bright Saturday evening, and we have an absolute electric semi, or rather quarter-final. Apologies for the same. And that's the match officials for you, ladies and gentlemen. Shiv Shankar Panda will be the referee, Chandrakant Barak, assistant referee 1, assistant referee 2 will be Durya Madhav Acharya, and fourth official will be Prasanta Kumar Paul. And at the other end, we have match commissioner Durga Madhav Naik, who will be taking charge of this huge encounter. In fact, such are the hearsays that believe, or rather there are people who are saying that probably this should have been the summit clash of the tournament, but then at times you just can't help. That's the starting lineup for Cuttack, ladies and gentlemen. Sanjay Hembram, SS Alam, Niranjan Behra, Pintu Samal, Mohammad Imtiaz, Vikas Sahu, Rajesh Nayak, Bapuni Vindani, Sheikh Farid, Prakash Nayak, and Dinabandhu Das. And that's a stop. Sheikh Kamaluddin, Jagannath Turu, Prayas Panda, Rakesh Sahu, Dara Singh Jamuda, Vijay Behra, Resen Tudu, Lakhai Murmu, and Avinash Samal. And they play under head coach Nipendra Kumar Das. Rourkela Steel Plant, that's the starting lineup. Bisal Oram, Dilip Kindo, Bisal Tigda, Krishna Oram, Sanjay Turki, Betal Lakhna, Advin Turki, Manjeet Oram, Roshan Panna, Anand Oram, and Samir Karkatla. The subs are Lakshman Oram, Rakesh Ekka, Sanjay Dhunia, Pradeep Barua, Eklavya Lakhon, Pradhan Murmu, Kartik Ekka, Rohit Singh, Vichitra Pradhan. And they play under the head coach Keshab Chandra Pradhan. And that's how things have happened so far for team comparison. Cuttack has played 3 games and has scored 23 goals, wherein Rourkela has played 3 games and also scored 8 goals. 9 points for both the sides, 3 wins for both the teams. That's all that you need to know. 2 clean sheets by Cuttack, wherein 3 clean sheets by Rourkela Steel Plant. So both the teams, they have indeed well-oiled units in each other. And as we talk about, it's Cuttack in white and red who is attacking on your screen from the right to the left, to have kick-started proceedings at the Capital Ground for the final quarter-final of Sahani Cup 62nd Inter-District Football Tournament. And on your screen from the left to the right, or rather from the right to the left, we have the men in blue and yellow, Rourkela Steel Plant. That was kind of a scrappy throw altogether from Cuttack. And now Cuttack drives forward. Oh, that was a nice delivery altogether, but this time it takes a deflection off a Rourkela Steel Plant defender and went straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. No real challenge there. And now RSP, Rourkela Steel Plant, comes forward, hoping to create a cross from the right. They were keeping possession of the ball as much as they could. Unfortunate, however, didn't crack open the chance, and now a throw in there. Plays it amongst themselves, knocks the ball around, sends it forward from the right. Another attempted cross, takes a deflection. The ball stays with Cuttack. Rourkela in hot pursuit of the same, but Cuttack, cool, calm and composed under the pump. That's what makes them such a menacing team in the tournament. Now this can be an opportunity for Cuttack, a chance for them to open the scoring. Shot comes in, brilliant save by Rourkela. An absolute timely dive there by the goalkeeper, throwing himself on the massive burdens and protecting his team's citadel with absolutely imperative disposition. And now an attack of Rourkela all the way from the right, sends in the ball, looking for the cross. The cross comes floating in, but before the plan, waiting in front of the goal, would have actually had a say. It was a nice piece of defense, traded away for a corner here. And that's the first corner of the day. And it's fallen in favor of Rourkela. Wait and they'll take their time before they can whip in the corner into the blend, or rather into the blender, try and get their noses ahead. First corner, and it swings in from the right. He whips that corner in, but it is slightly over-punched than he would have expected, and the ball goes out of play. So it's a goal kick now in favor of Rourkela, or rather in favor of Cuttack. Apologies for the same. Three minutes on the clock, and these teams, they have been battling tooth and nail altogether. And here's a quick piece of stat for you. Rourkela Steel Plant has not considered, or rather has not conceded a single goal in the tournament. So that gives you a story that Cuttack may be very highly attacking, or rather they may be a brilliant attacking unit. But as a matter of fact, the defensive unit of Rourkela is extremely strong. The fortification so far seems to be unbreachable. So that means Cuttack will have to work their way forward. It will be interesting to see if they are unable to find that early goal, because that has been their wheelhouse. If they are unable to open up that floodgates early in the game, will that leave them with a bit of frustration? They had a golden chance early in the game, but they couldn't really generate the desired power behind the shot. And it was a great save from the Rourkela goalkeeper. Yeah, and this can be a chance, but then before Rourkela could have reached it, the Cuttack defenders were quick enough to reach out for the ball and take care of it. And now it's a free kick in favor of Rourkela Steel Plant, and they'll take their time. They will probably be sending it downtown. We could see the crowd trickling in from the sides, and why not enjoying a football match in such a pleasant weather? That too on a Saturday evening. I mean, a perfect evening. Also, a perfect learning lessons for the youngsters who are out there on the sides. And now, with every passing minute, they keep on increasing, or they keep on pouring in numbers, and that's the number of goals that has been scored by these two sides. Cuttack, they have scored 23 goals so far. Rourkela's field plan, they've scored 8. But going by footballing context, even 8 goals in 3 games has you an average of almost 2.67. That is not just a decent, but a very good winning or rather scoring margin. And for Cuttack, they have a average of almost 7.67, which is staggering, absolutely staggering in terms of football. So obviously they are a very well-oiled, a very slick attacking unit for sure. But what they have lacked, or rather what they seem to be slightly vulnerable in, is in their defense. Particularly, they have not yet encountered a team as good as Rourkela, because that is going to be another aspect that you have to keep in mind. The early minutes of the game has so far been dictated in almost equal proportions, with Rourkela having a slightly upper hand. Six minutes on the clock. We're headed with 7th. And it has so far been a pretty open encounter, a pretty neck-to-neck encounter, where it has been difficult to find out a clear-cut edge between these two sides. And now Cuttack keeps on pushing from the left wing there. Tries to find the central channel. And now a long ball knitted forward. Rourkela is trying to latch onto it. They've managed to do a phenomenal job. Sends another brilliant cross. But impeccable defending there from Cuttack. Too good for work at the moment. They are keeping things under check, and they are doing a phenomenal job, at least until now. Rourkela coming together as a unit, and that is why they are such a great team in terms of footballing integrity of definitions. Taking on not 1 but 3 defenders on their own. Rourkela, that was a sweet piece of footwork, to be honest. And now the drive forward, looking around for options as they push forward higher up the order. Brilliant work with the ball, but this time Cuttack has managed to snatch it away. They drive forward now. Can they burst forward? In a decent attempt, but before they could have done, there was a bit of entanglement of bodies, and a couple of bodies quickly embraced the ground, and the referee was quick to blow his whistle, laying down the law. I reckon the Cuttack player who was involved in the attack is clutching onto his knee. I reckon a bit of a knock there. And while the players line up for the free kick, here's another quick reminder how these teams have so far fared. A total of 3 matches played. Both the teams are coming into this encounter winning all their 3 games. But the staggering line of demarcation between these two sides are the number of goals that they have scored. Cuttack has scored 23, while Rourkela has scored 9. So, or rather 8, apologies. So that does give you a lot of clarity. Talking about clarity, I reckon Cuttack almost had a clear-cut chance waiting at them. A thumping header, only the direction was missing, straight down the gully of the goalkeeper as he wrapped around his gauntlet around the ball, snuffing out what could have been a dangerous chance. And this is the second time that Cuttack was on their way towards the goal, and this is the second time that Rourkela's goalkeeper has denied them a shot at glory. A great start to the game, a couple of open chances already for both the sides, and none of them wants to sit back and defend. For them, they believe in one of the ancient maxims of English that states that footballs, or rather in any game, attack is your best defense. And both the teams, they're high on attack. Both of them playing a pretty high line of defense, and both of them looks well coordinated as well. So this makes this encounter an absolute knockout contest. Like, two teams were willing to put their best foot forward, have got the best of sides in the tournament at their disposition. No wonder why the fans, the players who have been around, have called this to be a summit clash. Should have been a summit clash, but then again, probably they are meeting in the tournament prematurely, but that's what a football tournament is all about. You won't be getting your opponent, you won't be getting easy opponents throughout the way. If you have to rise right to the pinnacle of the tournament, you will have to climb the higher rungs. Or rather, you'll have to literally brave your way up to the higher rungs of the ladder. Now here's another interesting piece of stat for you. Cuttack has scored in every 12 minutes. Now, if you remember yesterday's quarter final between Charsogoro and Bargar, they almost lived up to the stats. And this stat, as we near the 12-minute mark, do you believe that we have the opening goal coming up? Well, the writing's on the wall for sure, but how clear the writing is, how accentuating it has been in the first 12 minutes, I reckon time shall give you the answer. That's a brilliant ball sent forward, but the Cuttack players were not able to capitalize. Well, they have height in the opposition attacking third, and that is exactly what they're trying to use in their favor. It's a free kick now in favor of Cuttack. As time is passing by, Cuttack is increasing the number of attacks. They are throwing the metal to the pedal, increasing the number of players in the opposition box, trying to find an early infraction, an early chink in the Rourkela defense, which is still not visible, to be honest. They've kept things really airtight here. That's some good work. That's some decent speed as well from Rourkela. Controlling the possession, controlling the ball, controlling the narrative. Absolutely unfazed under the cosh. Yeah, this time, however, Cuttack pulling off a decent snatch there. Sends in a brilliant cross. And it went slightly away from the face of the goal, and the player would have liked. It was veering off its actual path, and it was very, very challenging for the player to try and control it. It eventually rolls out of play, and that's going to be a corner before he could control it and actually try and converge it towards the goal. Rourkela defender was quick on his feet and ensured that he's snatching the ball away. And the corner is whipped in. Once again, an overpowered corner. The danger still lingers on. And the ballooning header that had a late dip onto it. But then the goalkeeper of Rourkela was right bang on his money, ensuring the fact that even if the ball had ample tip, in order to trouble him, he was there in order to protect his citadel with a late lunge. And that's phenomenal goalkeeping as well. And now Rourkela drives forward from the left. They've got the ball in a pretty favourable juncture, but before they could have sneaked in a pass, that one player was crowded by not one but three defenders. And I reckon a free kick has been given in favour of Rourkela, and it's a pretty decent juncture to have a free kick from. Yes, it's a free kick, and Rourkela is lining themselves up. Is this where we get the first goal of the match? 15 minutes on the clock. A dangerous juncture, to be honest. And the free kick comes floating in, but it was absolutely wild and completely off a direction, or rather off its actual path. So it goes begging, another chance goes begging. Rourkela comes knocking on the doors again, but Cuttack, quick to react, quick to respond. And now wants to knit together an attack of their own. They do have the desired player. That's some decent footwork, not making the opposition. But once again, despite one player being dribbled past, the other player was quick enough to react and snatch the ball away from the opposition's foot. It's going to be a long throw. And the throw is being floated into the box. It eludes the Cuttack player, but there was a bit of a danger element to it because the ball was bobbling in a pretty awkward manner. So Rourkela decided that they do not want to take a risk, and they have ensured the fact that they have cleared their lines, kept things intact. Another corner here for Cuttack. This has been a pretty high octane, a pulsating encounter with the pendulum swinging both sides every alternate couple of minutes. And the corner comes floating in again, directionless. Goes out of play. It's a goal kick now in favor of Rourkela. They're lining up for that goal kick. And the ball didn't really get to the feet of, or get to the feet if any of the Cuttack or Rourkela players. It took a header of a Cuttack player along the way and went out for a throw-in. I can see with every passing moment the number of audience is increasing on the sidelines. And that's a nicely knitted together delivery. Cuttack still manages to keep the possession alive in their favour. Wanted to drive forward. Poor pass at the end of it all. Rourkela has now the ball in their favour at the behest. Sends it forward. Still keeping it with them. And now lofts it with the hope that the player on the far left would latch onto it and try and send in a cross, but unfortunate. Again, no real threat altogether. But this time, another forward ball launched by Rourkela. They would look for some support in the box. There was no one at the end of it. There is a player who now reaches it, but the danger element of the delivery, that has fizzled away into oblivion by the time the player could reach it. I reckon the pass was slightly premature. He needed to wait. I believe that he did the rudimentary footballing skills there, just send it across, but you have to wait for your players to arrive. once again, another attempt to find the ball, or rather to thread the ball on the stride of the player waiting at the far right by Cuttack has been anticipated, and now Rourkela comes knocking on the doors again. But good defending and good goalkeeping keeps Cuttack alive and afloat in the game. That's a long ball. It was sent downtown. Has been taken care of. Rourkela now has a possession. Seems to be slightly a bit more positive than Cuttack once they are on the attack. But again, when Cuttack is on the attack, Rourkela has vehemently been on a retreat as well. He now sends another piercing delivery forward. But as things stand, it hasn't been, or still we are still to witness that opening goal that can set the game, or that can set the tone of the game perfect. Rourkela now has the ball, knits it forward again. Back with Cuttack. Rourkela driving hard to keep the possession alive. And they do, but I reckon it has just crossed the line. The referee's blown the whistle. So it's going to be a throw in favor of Cuttack. Cuttack and Rourkela fiercely duking it out in the midfield, trying to collect the ball as much as they can, trying to have a lion's share of the possession. That's another stat story for you. At the moment, like the 23 goals that has been scored by Cuttack, 15 of them came against Rayagada. So as Cuttack went on to romp over their counterparts by 15 goals to nil, a staggering margin altogether in terms of such a high-profile tournament. Cuttack still keeping the ball alive. A bit of a tussle. The game getting slightly cagier now. Another quick ball sent in there. But Cuttack slightly slowing the game down. They do not want to hurry, to be honest. And this is the chance for Cuttack to try and knit together something from the left. But I reckon that it's not to be. Sturdy and resilient defending there from Rourkela. Kudos to their defenders. They've been an almost unbreakable unit. That impregnable wall ahead of the goal line has really left Cuttack desperate for answers. Cuttack now driving forward through the center. That's a chiseled run, an opportunity as well. Goes for the shot, but phenomenally blocked by Cuttack. It was Rourkela who was almost there, knocking on the doors, hoping to crack it open. But just when it felt that the ball was there at his feet, hoping as if he can create an impact with that cross. The thumping defensive intervention came in from Cuttack, and now Cuttack has a chance. Before they could have knitted together the ball, but the ball still remains with them. The player's taken a tumble. The referee says, get back up. Ball's back with Rourkela. Cuttack snatches the possession back in their favor. If the possession has been with one team at one end for a few seconds, the following few seconds has been with other. Great game of football between these two sides, and I reckon it's going to be a water break. It's also pretty hot out there in Odisha, so yes, a quick breather will allow the players to rehydrate themselves. And the players are back on the ground. So we'll quickly have a see that what went down. I reckon it's a free kick in favor of Cuttack, or is it a corner? We'll have to confirm. What's the final decision from the referee? It's a corner in favor of Cuttack. Another chance for them to try and send something shrieking towards the goal. And the cross comes floating in. An opportunity which eludes the head of the players, or rather every single head present out in the mix. Great chance nonetheless. Now sends another goal kick downtown. But the Cuttack players were waiting right at the edge of the box. Now Cuttack, with every passing second, they've seen a lot more dominant. And they can keep on driving forward as much as they want. Oh, he just couldn't control the ball. He wanted to be a little fancy without any real pressure as well. But I reckon he stumbled there. He lost his footing. This ball is heading straight down the path of their goalkeeper. The last 6 to 7 minutes has entirely belonged to Cuttack. Rourkela's best victory was against Jajpur as they secured a 5-0 win. A bit of a scrappy exchange right now with the ball in the center. A lateral pass. They keep on driving forward again. But somehow or the other, Rourkela's invasions haven't really bore the required fruits that could have sent them taking an early lead. Cuttack defenders have seen a lot more convincing and pretty solid as well in falling back and bridging the gap between their midfield and the defense, increasing the numbers in their rear guard, so that Rourkela couldn't really have the kind of say that they were willing to have so far. And Cuttack not taking any chances altogether. Another long ball, hoping against hope that that ball would probably be catastrophic, allowing Rourkela to try and wreak havoc, but then it didn't really reach the player who was at the end of it all. Chested down by Rourkela. The last 10 minutes has somehow belonged entirely to Cuttack. 31 minutes in the clock. Another nice little thrust forward by Cuttack, but it won't help their cause. It goes straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. And it's going to be a free kick now in favor of Rourkela. The ball's back at the feet of Cuttack now. That's a brilliant ball. This can be a chance. Can it be 2-1 chance as well? The shot's coming! And it's goal number 1 for Cuttack. The goalkeeper was off his line. He had no idea how things came at him so fast. It was the high line of Rourkela defense that has come undone at the brilliant thrust by the Cuttack attacking unit. And what a fine finish under the pump, under some hot pursuit from their opposition. And Cuttack eventually manages to find their 24th goal. It came after 32 minutes of topsy-turvy encounter in quarter-final 4 of the 62nd Men's Inter-District Football Championship Sahani Cup 2023. What a cracker to kickstart proceedings here. 32 minutes in the clock, and Cuttack has finally opened the scoring of the game. And now Rourkela, they will be looking for a response. They have been decent, yes, but when it comes to eventually pounding on the doors harder and louder than ever, they have somehow lacked the grit and determination. They have lacked the finishing prowess. And that's the confirmation. It is Dinabandhu Das who scored a rollicking finish to send Cuttack 1-0 up in the game. Rourkela now will probably show a bit more urgency than they were. There's a chance, but just in the nick of time, Cuttack comes up with a crucial intervention. And now Cuttack, after snatching the ball away, they would want to carve open an attack of their own. This is a fierce tussle for the possession. And eventually, it has been sent miles into the stands by the Rourkela defense. And that's another story for you. Rourkela Steel Plant is apparently likely to score a goal or concede, or rather, Rourkela is still to score a goal in every 34 minutes of the game. So that means that the time is right. The time is right, and it's right for Rourkela Steel Plant in order to fire the right possible shots. But at the moment, they are in defensive duties out here, protecting their own fort. Protecting their own fort that has already fallen once in front of the incessant and relentless pressure of the Cuttack attacking unit. Cuttack well set and desperate to find the back of the net for the second time. Try and extend their cushion as much as they can. The long throw-in was sent screaming into the box, but it is going to be a corner kick. And there's a player down of the Cuttack team who will need some medical assistance. I reckon the referee quickly having a word and tells him to get up because a penalty is not being awarded. We've seen a lot of dives happening in football where the players go down in the box hoping maybe that the referee, they can attract the attention of the referee, but it's not really easy, particularly with VAR not in play or with VAR not in play. It's very challenging to say that it is a penalty because it has to be the referee's decision to eventually. The corner comes floating in. The danger still keeps lingering on, but I reckon there was a bit of push involved while they were trying to collect the ball that would give away a free kick in favour of Rourkela Steel Plant. And now RSP on the move, taking their time. But Cuttack quick to snatch the ball back, and as the number of corners stand, Cuttack has got 5 corners going in their way, while Rourkela has just managed 1 so far. Rourkela has the ball back in their possession, but their attacking enterprises, it has all been good until they have arrived in the final third where the goal is usually being carved. So see, again, in the context, in the definition of football, like you can do everything right on the footballing field and your opposition can do everything wrong, except they just have a goal in their name and you don't. So at the end of it, all the right things, all the hard work, all the tenacity, grit, determination, belief, it will all fizzle away to oblivion. Football at times can be a beautiful game, and at times it can be a very cruel game too. You have to just make do with that fact. Cuttack now trying to use the left channel. They haven't really used the left channel much, but they have been decent on the wings. Rourkela quick to snatch the ball away. But Cuttack reclaiming possession for themselves. They have players waiting at the far left. This is some brilliant work again. Another cross knitted towards the far right. And before Cuttack could have actually laid claim to the same, it was nicely shielded by a defender's body and ruled out of play. Final 7 minutes of regulation time at the end of the first half awaited, and then whatever additional minutes would be given over to these two teams. That is what is remaining of the first half of play of the first hemisphere of this incredible encounter where two high-octane teams are going with their claws and fangs bared at their opposition's jugular. One mistake and the punishment is severe. One moment of concentration lapse and it is a catastrophe come true. This is another chance for Cuttack. A brilliant cross from the right. Almost close to its finding its player who is waiting in front of the goal in order to tap it home. And a timely intervention again. A diving header from Rourkela defender ensured the fact that it has been traded away for a corner. Rourkela, ever since the goal has been scored against them, they have been pretty inactive in the game, pretty quiescent and pretty sloppy, to be honest. Their defenses have given way at times to the relentless barrage of attack from Cuttack. But then again, at the end of it all, as things stand, Cuttack has just managed to sneak in that solitary goal. Here's corner number 6 for Cuttack. Can they get a second goal? Can they extend their lead? You never know. And the corner comes floating in. And a bit of collision amongst their own players. That's not the most professional of spectacles, at least in a high-profile tournament like this. But nevertheless, football has presented us even funnier incidents. And not just in a tournament like this, but even in the greatest of all, the World Cup. We have seen players entangling feet amongst themselves. We've seen players going on at each other's throat, literally. So why not? I mean, things like these are pretty common in football. It's a body contact game. At times, it's very challenging for you that way, where you cannot control your run, you control your position or your fight or your battle, whatever it is, because again, it's a very high-paced game as well. As we were talking about the audience, you can see on the sidelines, with every passing minute, the crowd has been manifolding itself by leaps and bounds. And here are a few football enthusiasts who are enjoying the game. It's a beautiful weather out there, to be honest. It's not exactly scorching hot. We all know, man, during the evening, Odisha has some nice breeze coming in, particularly given the fact that it's stationed in the coast side. So obviously, the breeze from the seaside does start coming in the state, in the city, or whatever you call it. And it's beautiful, actually, to be honest. And these players, it is a phenomenal tournament where they are enjoying themselves as well. And why? The crowds have also joined in. They know that this game is very important for them. It's a knockout game, and any team that fails to live up to the billed expectations will be crashing out of the tournament in the most unforgivable way. So, at the end of it all, what does matter is that you start believing. This is another great delivery, another chance, one-on-one situation, but before he could have actually pounced upon that opportunity, it's the goalkeeper of Rourkela who charged out of his line to try and prune down the angle. There was a second chance, to be honest, could have done better. There were actually not one, but two Rourkela, or rather two Cuttack players were waiting in the box, hoping that the ball would be sent in their stride, in their path. Unfortunate, however, he wanted to go for glory all by himself and eventually ended up misdirecting his shot as the ball sailed out. And this is another chance here, or rather Cuttack will now have to chase the ball again as Rourkela has reclaimed possession for themselves. And that was a ball sent downtown, a bit of a highly topple there. And he's landed on his chest. Can be really painful because he fell from quite a decent height. That's a knock, basically. He'll need some time to gather his senses back. Cuttack with the ball. Here's a quick glimpse at the first half. Cuttack has made 3 attempts on goal, Rourkela with 2. Rourkela quick there to gather the ball. Rourkela desperate to find some momentum go their way. They have had isolated patches of brilliance, but football is not won by isolated patches of brilliance. Unless you are a Lionel Messi blazing a trail of brilliance. This can be an opportunity again for Cuttack. Goal 2! Once again, goalkeeper mistimes his outing and pays a very heavy price as Cuttack is cruising towards the finish line at the edge of the first half. Just when you thought that RSP could head back to the dressing room and regroup themselves, Cuttack has knocked another crucial blow to the aspirations of Rourkela. And 3 minutes of additional time has been handed over. But this 3 minutes, it can be tormenting for the Rourkela steel plant. Or maybe they'll try and find that all-important goal, at least to try and reduce the arrears. Because if they can, they'll have the psychological advantage heading into the tunnel. But it was a fine finish from Cuttack. Once again, one-on-one, the goalkeeper couldn't really time his outing. Comes undone at the sheer brutal pace of the Cuttack player. Once again, Cuttack did manage to snatch the ball away, but the referee says that was against the law. You've got to do better than that. So free kick now in favor of Rourkela Steel Plant. Still a couple of minutes to go at the end of the first half. There's a player rolling on the ground. He sends a lovely ball forward. Rourkela just trying to latch onto it. They have the desired number of personnel behind the ball. And eventually it will be Cuttack who will be clearing the lines. And that's a confirmation. Prakash Nayak is the man who got the goal, the second goal for Cuttack. So yes, a lot of things can happen. And the referee has handed over another free kick now in favor of Rourkela. Sends another ball forward, knitting together the short passes, those quick passes. And that should mark the end of the first half. And as things stand, it's Cuttack 2, Rourkela 0. A great first half comes to an end. Eventually, the first 20 minutes, the first 20-25 minutes, it was a pretty evenly poised encounter. But once that opening goal of the game was scored, since then, somehow, Rourkela has been dwindling on their enterprise. They have lacked the intent, they have lacked the efforts, and they have lacked the tenacity as well. And that's the news from the center, ladies and gentlemen. Cuttack 2, Rourkela Steel Plant 0. Dinabandhu Das scored in the 33rd minute. Prakash Nayak doubled the lead in the 45th. We'll now try and show you the stats that has so far defined the game between these two sides in the opening half. Quite an intriguing encounter, quite a fascinating exchange of proceedings out in the center. Brilliant finish. And undoubtedly, when the second half begins, we'll like to see how Rourkela Steel Plant approaches the game. It won't be easy for them, but again, like nothing comes easy. So they'll have to keep that in mind, that they'll continue driving for excellence. They'll continue to drive for those equalizers before Cuttack can inflict further damage upon their hopes of advancing to the semi-finals of the tournament. And that's the news from the center in terms of numbers there. 58% possession for Cuttack, 42 for Rourkela Steel Plant, 9 shots for Cuttack, 3 for Rourkela, 5 on target for Cuttack, 2 for Rourkela, 6 corners for Cuttack, 1 for Rourkela, 9 fouls for Cuttack, 4 for Rourkela. No yellow cards, no red cards have been shown. 4 free kicks for Cuttack, 9 for Rourkela, and 2 saved by their goalkeeper, 3 by Rourkela. And these stats were powered to you by the official broadcasting partner of 62nd Senior Men Inter-District Football Championship, Sahani Cup 2023, Sports KPI. That's all from the first half, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now slip into a short breather and we'll return with the second half of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the second half of so far what has been an enthralling contest between these two teams. Cuttack at the moment leading by 2 goals to nil and will be attacking on your screen from the right to the left in their signature red and whites. And on your screen from the left to the right will be the team in the blue and yellow, and that is Rourkela Steel Plant. They are under some intense pressure, at least for the time being, and they will need to find a way out of whatever has stuck them in. They have found themselves stuck in a rut, and this is probably not what they were expecting when they started the game. They started the game on a pretty positive note, but again, football is not over until that final whistle blows. So it can change at any point in time. The course of the game can turn. This is a chance for Rourkela. Unfortunately, not the best of shots in target. Straight in the arms of the goalkeeper, and he'll collect it and it'll quickly go down on the ground. There's a confirmation of a substitution here for Rourkela. Eklavya Lakhon coming in, while Roshan Panna making way for the big man. And once again, ball stays with Cuttack now. A bit of a directionless, rudderless pass, but then one of their players did manage to drop back and collect it. And now they can go forward. Rourkela, however, has reclaimed possession for themselves and gave it away too easily as well. Simple pass could have done the trick. But a bit of a complicated long distance pass that they wanted to resort to have actually taken away the advantage from them. And now Rourkela puts their best foot forward, keeps on driving front, or rather it was Cuttack. Apologies for the same, not Rourkela, who was driving forward. Went for an absolute spearing strike, and the ball sailed over the woodwork without any real threat there. And another long ball sent forward. But Cuttack has it under control. And now they are waiting for help to arrive. Help has arrived, but before they could have latched onto the ball, that's gone out of play. And this was another chance for Cuttack where they almost converged upon the ball quick enough. And here's a chance for Rourkela now to slowly build from the back, knitting together the small passes. And the ball going towards the right. Brilliant turnaround, sends one forward. Looking for more space. This can be some danger chance here. Cross comes floating in. Oh, it just floated over. The ball bobbling off the upper half of the net and going out of play. What a chance for Rourkela. Almost managing to crack open the goal for the first time in the game. Here's a chance for Cuttack driving forward. There's a bit of technical difficulty, but then we are back in the game. So yes, as things stand, it's still 2-0 in favor of Cuttack. And the second half has started on a much more rambunctious note than the first. Cuttack once again on hot pursuit of the ball. And Rourkela trying to stay desperately on their feet, just ensuring the fact that the difference doesn't go higher than there. Another chance, and another opportunity goes begging. Short passes being knitted together. Rourkela just trying to find a possible possible outlet to get that first goal. That's a brilliant ball. This is a chance for Cuttack, but the flag's gone up. Terrific, terrific opportunity indeed. Could have been goal number 3 for Cuttack. And now Rourkela drives forward, wanted to take a long ranger, but no real impact on that. Rourkela now trying to knit together a chance from the left. Hoping for a cross. They found a man. The cross comes floating in, but way off target. And a crucial block is... And that's again a quick confirmation of the total goals scored, inclusive of 2 goals that were scored by Cuttack already. 25 in their favor, wherein 8 for Rourkela. And the player's back on his feet. Here's another corner for Rourkela there. Do they have some hope to clutch onto from this chance? The crowds taking their seats on the ground. Now he has a lovely ball sent forward, but then Cuttack was quick to cut it short. Sends a long ball forward, and I reckon there was no one following it. Neat work now from Rourkela Steel Plant, keeping the possession in their favor. Trying to build from the back. Launches it forward in a route one brand, but then again it was not well directed. The ball goes out of play. It's going to be a regulation throw in favor of Cuttack. And here's a chance for Rourkela. They have the ball again. Once again, what they have lacked is the incision up front, is the finishing charisma. This could have been a great chance. What a delivery that was, right into his foot. But then he couldn't connect. And a diving save there from the goalkeeper. Phenomenal work from both ends. Rourkela once again coming closer and closer in terms of scoring. Can they score that opening goal? Can they reduce the arrears as early as they can? Another long ball there, and that was almost sailing away from the player. A a great chance, to be honest. And now going all the way from the right. That's another impeccable delivery. Can Rourkela latch onto it, or can Cuttack put an end? It's a fierce tussle on the sidelines, and the ball goes out of play. And I reckon it's going to be a goal kick. Great work so far, indeed. With time, with patience, do we have a break? A goal kick here. And a long ball sent forward. Rourkela quick to converge back on the ball again. Twists and turns and threads. A web of mystery there. And eventually, after failing to contain him, he had to put in a crucial tackle there that ended up cramping the player for room and eventually drawing a foul. And another long ball sent forward. There's still a chance being sniffed out by the Rourkela steel plant. Can they get an opportunity to break open the opposition defense? At least for once now. That will give them the confidence to try and drive for the second. They'll have to take one step at a time, and it's not going to be easy for sure. It's going to be all sorts of challenging. But at the end of it all, they'll have to believe. They'll have to come forward faster than you can imagine. And now the ball stays with Rourkela, but Cuttack was quick to react now. That's a defense-splitting pass. Can the Cuttack attacker reach it first? Well, it seems like he won't be making the cut for the fastest one to reach the ball. Now here's a chance for Rourkela again. Rourkela has been pretty predominant in the second half in the first 12 minutes of game that has happened, the first 12 or 13 minutes. But once again, it's the lack of precision, the lack of incision that has really been firing heavy against them. A bit of a push, a bit of a turn, twist. And Mendes, once again, a bit of a technical glitch that happened, but they are back in the hunt. 1 hour of football has been played now between these two sides, and as things stand, Cuttack still has a 2-0 lead over Rourkela Steel Plant, and now they are hoping to knit further domination in the game. Rourkela driving all the way from the left, still unable to crack open the Cuttack defense. It has been a pretty nip and tuck encounter between these two teams, but at the end of it all, it is Rourkela who's had, or rather, it's Cuttack who's had the final say so far, at least in terms of goals. Final 30 minutes of regulation time coming up, and this is going to be, these are going to be a crucial 30 minutes of football between these two sides. Cuttack particularly will be defending with all their forces, wherein for Rourkela Steel Plant, they will need to come up with something outside the box, think in a different manner, think in a different directive altogether. A couple of decent passes. And the ball still remains. That's Rourkela Steel Plant. A few passes between them. Plays it straight back to the goalkeeper. Cuttack, high in pursuit. Always the more aggressive teams of the two. 25 goals from the tournament already. And they keep on adding more to their tally. Can they add a few more, at least in today's game? Or can Rourkela stage a comeback, stage a strong counter blast? Yeah, that's a phenomenal delivery. Cross comes floating in from the left, but the flag was already up. So that would go down in history as a miss. And a couple of changes happening here for Cuttack for the time being. And that's a twin substitution. We'll quickly confirm you with the names. And eventually a long ball. Rourkela trying to keep it in control. Do they have some shooting space? Do they have help? They have help for sure, yes. Now they're looking for space. But Cuttack will not give it away to them. They will simply not allow their opposition to try and come close and knock on the doors as to their expectations or as what they want. And there's a confirmation of the change from Cuttack. Vijay Behera coming in. Sheikh Farid was the one who was asked to take the bench after a phenomenal display in the first 60 minutes. And here's another confirmation of change. Rakesh Sahu came in. Rakesh Nayak went out. And now a throw coming in from the right. Cuttack sends in that long cross, but again, not the best of crosses, not the most convincing crosses, to be honest. A lovely ball here. Cuttack driving forward, looking for some help, looking for some space. Rourkela denying them at the moment. But the question is, how long can they deny them? Well, for the time being, the danger has passed. No real challenges now on the horizon for sure. Rourkela keeps on knitting forward. But they will need to have a lot more control at the moment. Somehow the control has been lacking. Somehow their passes haven't really been the best and the gilt-edged ones that can actually trouble Cuttack. Yeah, that's a decent ball now. Sends it further to the left. Cuttack coming forward in numbers and spades again. Oh, that's a brilliant ball. The defender had no idea where it was headed. A chance! And goal number 3 for Cuttack. Just when we were thinking about that, what possibly can go worse from here for Rourkela, the answer has arrived on a silver platter. An impeccable cross. The defender left bamboozled at it. And a simple tuck-in from point-blank range for Cuttack. And Rourkela is coming apart at the seams as Cuttack makes merry. Impeccable finish, impeccable pass, and they are sailing hammer and tongs to the finish line now. A terrific finish has allowed Cuttack to get themselves in absolutely commanding position of the game. And it's going to be a twin substitution here for Rourkela Steel Plant. Great work altogether. Both the teams, they have put forth their best foot. Rourkela somehow missing out the scoring opportunities, somehow unable to converge on their opposition goals, and are paying the price actually. And managed to find open the promised path to goals, not once but thrice. And at the end of it all, punished their counterparts as well. And that's a confirmation of a change. Pradhan Murmu will be out in the center, while Manjeet Ram will be the man who will be. Another change, that is Karthik Ekka, who came in, while Samir Karkatta went out. A corner, well taken corner to be honest, but not the finest ones that could have produced a bit of threat out there. The game has begun again. Cuttack keeping the ball in their possession. No real threat. Another long ball sent forward. The goalkeeper of Rourkela, he was a mess this time. He was out of his position without even knowing that he would be able to reach the ball or not. Almost left the entire goal exposed, but thankfully the flag went up. Fortunate, very, very fortunate there. It could have been some serious problems altogether, but it has been taken care of. And now a players down of Cuttack. This is how the third goal happened. The pass was where it all changed. And an absolutely impeccable finish. There's a quick confirmation of the stats as well.
11 attempts at goal from Cuttack, 6 on target. 7 attempts at goal by Rourkela. 3 on target, but none of them has gone in so far. Cuttack definitely the more commanding side of the two. Rourkela have tried, but finally the lack of precision and incision in that final third is what has cost them extremely dearly. Cuttack comes forward in numbers again, looking for space, looking for opportunity, looking for shooting leeway, but will not be allowed anything for the time being. Oh, that's another impeccable delivery. Can a cross come in from the left? But before he could have knitted it together, I reckon they're appealing for a foul, but the referee says it's nothing more than a goal kick. Great work coming together. And now another forward ball for Cuttack, hoping that they can try and find the number 4 here, put the game to bed for once and for all. But the referee has blown the whistle. It's going to be a throw now. Another great chance, but at the end of it, decent passes knitted together. Another long ball sent shrieking forward. Cuttack trying to defend it. Again, a bit of a stutter there. And it goes out of play. And that's another lovely ball. The flag has stayed down. Work to do for Rourkela. Cross comes in from the right. Goal number 4. Cuttack has found themselves well in advance in the race to the finish line, as Rourkela Steel Plant is being punished over and over again. Once again, their defense completely non-existent, and Cuttack makes headway and takes a brilliant stride heading into the semi-finals of the Sahani Cup. What a brilliant and rip-roaring finish as Rourkela takes another head-on jump into madness. This is absolutely impeccable football from Cuttack as RSP keeps on struggling more than ever. It's a drinks break that has been announced, so the players will get a quick few 30 seconds in order to rehydrate themselves. And the players are back on their on the field again now. The referee quickly cutting short the breather, because again, these are very short breaks that the players have been given. Earlier it used to be, or rather earlier, it never used to be given, to be honest. But now it is being given, so just in order to ensure the fact that things are hunky-dory all the time. And there's a confirmation of the substitution by Cuttack. Avinash Shamal comes out in the center. Dinabandhu Das, the goal scorer of that first goal, has gone out of play. Another change that happened was Lakai Murmu walked out in the center. Bapuni Bindani went out of it. Again, a few short passes. Another brilliant ball, but that has been intercepted by Rourkela. Do they have that opening goal coming in? They keep on knocking on the doors. Cross comes in from the left, but that would fizzle out if contention without any serious challenges. Great work, to be honest, until now at least. And that's the confirmation of the total goals scored, 27 by Cuttack, including the 4 that they have scored today. Rourkela Steel can still just have 8 goals to take care of. They're still to open their scoring, at least for the time being, at least for the day being. They have been knocking on the doors, yes, but they have not been successful, to be honest. And that is where it's all going south. That is what it needs to be provided. Another decent save there by the Cuttack goalkeeper. Great work so far. Once again, the ball is with Rourkela Steel Plant. Knits it together. Sends another lovely ball forward. This can be a chance! What has Rourkela done? This was the best possible opportunity that they have in order to try and sneak in that first goal for themselves. And they have ballooned it over the woodwork with the entire goal gaping at them. They would simply not get a better opportunity than this. Absolute horror in the dugout. But what a chance. What a phenomenal delivery from the right. Just couldn't connect to it. Cuttack advancing again. Another lovely ball this time, and I reckon Rourkela will have it under control, but they've just given it away. They're inviting further trouble for themselves with those needless mistakes, and that too unforced. And Rourkela now comes knocking on the doors. And once again, before the ball could have actually been launched into the blender, that has been taken care of convincingly. And the substitution that is about to happen now in favor of Rourkela Steel Plant. Great work, and the center corner comes knocking over. It still somehow just fizzles out. So nothing at the moment, nothing for the time being. And as things stand, Cuttack still leads 4-0 over Rourkela. That's another substitution. This time it's for Rourkela. Rakesh Ekka was the man who came in. Krishna Oram went out. Final 10 minutes of regulation time remaining. And this game can still twist and turn. This game can still shuffle across. It's about the belief. It's about the faith. Cuttack with the possession. We have seen crazy things happening in football. Rather crazier things. We still remember how Salford came back in a game in those last 10 minutes where they were down by 4-0. They came back. They completed a 4-4 comeback or a turnaround in those final 10 minutes of the match. So if you can keep on believing, a lot of things can happen. This is the chance. Careless swinging of legs there, careless swinging of boots, and eventually, at the end of it all, it reaps no rewards for any teams. Cuttack Now can drive forward. Oh, that's some decent football. That was absolutely cold there. Took the player completely off his ground. Swept his footing apart. Neat passes. And another long ball. Being launched. Cuttack still has the possession. Now the numbers starting to flow in their favor. They have a 4-goal cushion right now. And a lot of space as well that Rourkela has somehow been allowing them over and over again. Another long ball sent forward. In this time, however, he goes down. And that will be the change that will be introduced by Cuttack. It's a free kick in favor of Cuttack, and there you go. Dara Singh Jamuda came in because Sahu went out. Now this free kick can be a game-changing moment. It can be the final nail in the coffin. The free kick comes floating in, but it was way too much, and the ball sails over. So obviously, as things stand, it's nothing problematic, at least for the time being. And another chance, but Cuttack has taken care of it. Great work, to be honest. Once again, knocking on the doors. Pretty loud enough. Decent work by Rourkela, but then again, that final third is where it has all went south for Rourkela. They have tried so hard, to be honest, but they have simply not been successful. That finishing is where it has been going all downtown at the moment. And until they can fix it, it will probably be all over, to be honest. And the ball goes straight to the goalkeeper. Let's it forward. This can be a great chance for Rourkela. A clear-cut opportunity. He takes the shot straight to the arms of the goalkeeper. Poor, to be honest. That should have been powered into the back of the net. How on earth could he not send it shrieking back? That should have been punished. Nonetheless, Rourkela comes knocking on the doors again. Brilliant cross. Another opportunity. Danger still lingers on. And the goalkeeper this time pulling off a fine save. Fine save. Why not? This was such an impeccable opportunity. Such a great chance And eventually at the end of it all, it was stalled in the dying embers once again by the goalkeeper. And another lovely ball there. Takes their time. Great chance for Cuttack again. Can they find it? Can they find a goal number 5 for themselves? Still 5 minutes of regulation time to go. Takes a long ranger, but nothing on target. Another chance. Again, nowhere close, to be honest. Cuttack, the ball's back with Cuttack now. Easy pickings for them. They have a 4-0 cushion and they know that they are winning this game. Rourkela came knocking on the doors for a brief while, but at the end of it all, they couldn't really find that opening that they were so desperately looking for. 86 minutes, rather 87 minutes in the clock. Cuttack sailing nice and smooth to their desired destination. They're taking their time. They do not want to hurry. That's all that matters. They do not want to hurry. They just want to control the narrative. And that will that'll get the job done for them. It's as simple as that. They'll get the job done for them. Rourkela steel plant simply chasing ghosts at the time being. Another long pass. Cuttack on the rise again. Final 2 minutes of regulation time remaining. They have the numbers advantage now. Can they go forward with a pile driver? Brilliant cross comes in. But the goalkeeper latched onto it. Didn't allow whatsoever for the ball to bobble out of his gauntlet. What an incredible fixture is so far being unfurling ahead of us. Rourkela did show the intent, but a bit more maturity could have done wonders for them. They've been pretty hasty out there, and that is something which is particularly not the best of things. Again, they will learn for sure from here, but the question is simple. How do they learn it, or how do they go forward from here on? 88 minutes, Cuttack 4, Rourkela Steel Plant 0. Great game, to be honest. But as things stand, we are now heading towards the toe end of the game. 89 minutes on the clock already. Consistent pursuit of the ball by Cuttack. Keeps on driving harder, as hard as they can. Yeah, that's better. 3 minutes of additional time. So far it has been a great game, to be honest, in this contest. continues to unfold in front of them. This contest continues to unfold in the best possible manners for them. Both the teams, they have really tried hard. Unfortunate, however, that they couldn't find an opening. That's all we can say. Ball's now down to the goalkeeper. Keeping the pass. Keeping the ball in control. Oh, that could have been a silly error, but nonetheless. 91 minutes and this is another chance for Rourkela as they come forward once again. Poor, very poor indeed. They lost control of the ball. They couldn't even regain control of the same. An opportunity to find something from the right. Cuttack still in hot pursuit of the ball. I reckon that tells you 1,000 stories. And Cuttack has won the possession back in their favor. Well, that was a thumping tackle. Rourkela still driving forward, hoping to find that solitary goal. A brilliant cross, but once again taken care of by the defenders. No real challenges behind it. Easy pickings at the end of the day. Final few seconds of the game. Can Rourkela get one goal for themselves? This is a great chance. Allowed appeal. The referee believes that's a free kick. Phenomenal piece of work indeed, and it would just be a matter of seconds before the final whistle goes, and it is the final whistle. It is game over for Rourkela Steel Plant as they bow out of the tournament against a high-firing Cuttack. A phenomenal finish. Heartbreaks for the Rourkela Steel Plant. They did put everything they could on the line. Unfortunate, however, that they couldn't really fructify all the danger, all the potential, all the caliber that they have. Well, things like these happen, but this will definitely be a huge chapter in terms of learning for them. And what a terrific display by Cuttack as they smashed home 4 goals. Dinabandhu Das opened the scoring. Prakash Nayak scored a brace. There's absolutely scintillating stuff there from Cuttack as they left the opposition under some serious pressure. After 90 minutes of exciting football, as things stand, Cuttack secured a 4-0 win over Rourkela Steel Plant. We'll now quickly try and show you the stats that defined the game. We'll try and show you the difference between the two sides and how the game unfolds. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers for you. Cuttack 58% possession, 42 for Rourkela Steel Plant, 15 shots for Cuttack, 11 for Rourkela Steel Plant, 8 on target for Cuttack, 5 for Rourkela Steel Plant, 6 corners for Cuttack, 4 for Rourkela Steel Plant, 16 fouls for Cuttack, 8 for Rourkela Steel Plant. And no cards were shown in the game. It was a pretty disciplined fixture. 8 free kicks in favor of Cuttack, 16 for Rourkela Steel Plant, and the goalkeeper of Cuttack pulling up 7 saves. For Rourkela, it was 4. And these stats were brought to you by the official broadcasting partner of the Sahani Cup, Sports KPI. Do not forget to check them out as well. Do like, share, and subscribe to their official YouTube channel. And that's all from here today. This is your commentator Rohit, who will be signing off from the second qualifier, or rather from the fourth quarterfinal. This is the game that'll be coming up tomorrow, the semi-final between Bargar and Bood, and it will be happening 3:45. Do not forget to tune back in to the official YouTube channel of Sports KPI as we bring you the semi-final, the grand semi-final of the Sahani Cup. That's all from here, ladies and gentlemen. This was an absolute pleasure joining you all. This is your commentator Rohit, calling it a day today, and what a game this has been. Rather a quick change out here. It was Bargar and Bood who will be playing out the quarterfinal tomorrow, not the semi-finals. So that's the confirmation from the center. So that is what it is going to be. But that's all from the center. This is your commentator Rohit, who will be calling it a day. And see you soon again, and see you tomorrow as well. So thank you everyone for joining in. Still then, take care, stay safe, and stay posted.